We're going to be talking about mindset and how important it is for successful trading and for a successful life, really. People panic sometimes because it's completely new to them. It's a new emotion, it's a new feeling, it's a new experience, risking real money.
I just got this fear, like, what if I do it wrong? What if clicking is not right? What if I lose?
As we know, when money's on the line, emotions can come into play. My job today is to share more around mindset around money, how you can overcome the fear of trading, and ultimately how you can be a successful trader.
Within STARTrading, from a mindset perspective, we talk about the 3 C's: confidence, consistency, competency. Don't even risk 1%. Go even lower than 1%. Hello everybody and welcome to the STARTrading Podcast with me, Lewis.
And I'm Sophie.
And I'm Rymel.
And today we're going to be talking about mindset and how important it is for successful trading and for a successful life, really. So, yeah.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you, who you are, why you're here.
Yeah, sure.
Why we've brought you in.
Absolutely, yeah. So my name's Rymel Dmot, founder of the Elite Business Club and Elite Millionaire Group. And yeah, the reason why I'm here today is to share a little bit more as the mindset coach for STARTrading. My job today is to share more around mindset around money, how you can overcome the fear of trading, and ultimately how you can be a successful trader, mastering the right mindset.
Brilliant. One of the things you just said there that I want to kind of probe into a little bit more is you said like the fear of trading. So what is like some of the common fears that you kind of see people have, and what are some of the ways that they can overcome those fears?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The biggest one without a doubt would be the fear of losing money. Well, the fear of not knowing what to do. Not having the right strategy, the right structure, and also the fear of losing money, because as we know, when money's on the line, emotions can come into play.
Yeah.
So the most important thing, and I know this is something you teach, is master the strategy, be disciplined, follow it, stay committed, and of course, if you've got questions, reach out and seek professional help. But the most important thing is follow the strategy, stay disciplined, and manage the risk. That's very, very important, because what we don't want to do, and I'm sure you'll share this more with your audience, is what we don't want to do is get into gambling. This isn't gambling. This isn't just trying to do something ad hoc. It's very structured, very disciplined, and by following that, you'll ultimately be successful.
And you're someone who's been through the STARTrading
Sure.
mentorship. You're now trading live. What would you say? Because we get this question quite a lot. Oh, is trading not just gambling? We hear that all the time, don't we? So for you, as someone who's now been through the process, what for you is the difference between trading as a gamble and trading as a STARTrading method trader?
Yeah, perfect. So for me, very simply, gambling is when you are throwing some money in and hoping for the best. There is no strategy behind it. There is no calculated risk or managed risk. It's just hoping for the best, no management of the money in any way, shape or form. Now the difference with what you learn in STARTrading is, again, as I've said already, it's very disciplined, very structured, but there's a format that we follow. And by following that format and by managing the risk, that's how you ultimately become a successful trader long term.
Yeah.
Now, an interesting thing happened to me when I started live trading, which was very recently, and we spoke about it. Thank you. So I went through the first strategy, and you learn all the foundations, then you learn the first strategy, and then you practice it loads.
Absolutely.
And I built confidence, and I was like, the percentage of winners was really high. And then I got to live trading, and I just couldn't push the button. I just got this fear, like, what if I do it wrong? What if what I'm literally clicking is not right? What if I lose? And I just had this complete block, and I was like, I just couldn't press it. And then I spoke to you, and you were like, just feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's what I've done in lots of things, hundreds of instances in my life. And I was like, yeah, you're right, I need to take that leap. So why do we have this block, and how easy is it to get over for most people?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, the fear is, like, for everyone listening, the fear is totally normal. At the end of the day, it's built within us as a mechanism, if you like, for protection and to stay safe. So the fear of what if I get it wrong, what if I lose money, is totally normal. The important part is, even though you have the fear, again, I'm going to keep saying the same thing, just by following what you have already learned and what you've been practicing is how you get the results and create the success. So fear is totally normal for those who are listening. In fact, if you didn't feel the fear, it'd probably be a little bit weird, to be fair.
It'd be very strange.
Very weird, to
yeah,
be fair.
It'd be very strange.
And, you know, I'm going to say this and be bold with it. The more you can remove that emotional attachment to the money and the outcome, and again, just follow it as if it was a system, the easier it will be to place the trade and continue placing trade.
Do you have any tips on how people can do that?
Oh, yes. So, tip number one, this is a great question, to be fair.
You're setting yourself up here because you've said one, so now you're going to have your multiple tips.
Yeah, no, of course. All right, so tip number one, without a shadow of a doubt, is check in with your emotions. I would never recommend anyone investing or placing a trade, for that matter, if their emotional state is all over the place, because then again it's very easy to get into the gambling mindset, the losing the strategy and the structure behind it. So yeah, tip number one, get your emotions in check. Tip number two would be, if in doubt, reach out to one of the mentors, because it could just be a case of a bit of reassurance, a bit of a check-in, build up the confidence, like Sophie said, and once you've got that in place, you're like, okay, do you know what, I'm ready to do it. And the third tip is, as I said to Sophie, feel the fear and do it anyway. Because at the end of the day, the only way to get the result is by placing that first trade, overcoming that hurdle, and once you've done it, you're like, oh, actually, I'm still alive, it wasn't that scary, and I can continue to move forward. The world is still turning. Absolutely. I
think one of the things we sometimes do within STARTrading as well is when people are struggling to press the button and take action, is again, we focus on the 1% rule. We only ever risk 1%.
Absolutely.
And even then, people panic sometimes because it's completely new to them. It's a new emotion, it's a new feeling, it's a new experience, risking real money. And that is, like you said, Rymel, so anti what the human brain wants 100%. To do. So what we tend to say is, right, don't even risk 1%. Go even lower than 1% to the tiniest amount you can, and just build that muscle memory up from that point. And that is often a really good place to start, because you get to feel the fear. Absolutely. You do it anyway, but you've de-risked even more and remove more of that emotional charge, which is really, really helpful. And within STARTrading, from a mindset perspective, we talk about the 3 C's. So we talk about confidence, we talk about consistency, and we talk about competency. I always forget the third one, and it's never the same one I forget. It's never the same one. I'll always forget one of them. So consistency, competency, and confidence. Wonderful. And you need those 3 together to give you that strong base, that strong triangle is the strongest shape, to give you the strongest mindset possible. So building that confidence, not only in your own ability, but in the strategy's ability as well, which is what we do with our back testing. And how do you think that people can build that confidence in themselves versus just in the strategy? Because we know we can build confidence in the strategy by testing it, and we've already done that before we go live. So we've got that confidence in the strategy, we know that it performs, and then it's the next piece of that puzzle is self-confidence.
Absolutely, yeah.
What are some ways that people can build that self-confidence?
Yeah, wonderful question. And it's funny because I share this with my clients all the time. It's managing that inner story. Because at the end of the day, the inner story will dictate what happens, what I like to say, externally. The inner story is internal, your results will be external. So as soon as you check in on what that inner story is, which could be, I don't think I'm good enough, I haven't practiced enough yet, what if I get it wrong? All of those things, get them in check. Like I said, get the support, get the mentor, go back to your back testing to make sure that you are in check and you do know what you're doing. And once you've, what I like to say, kind of quietened that voice down, then you can put it this way. If you kind of have a scale and you say fear is on one side, the skill set's on the other side, the fear bit's always going to be there. So by just quieting down that voice ever so slightly, it's never going to disappear. And reminding yourself the skill set you have, when the skill set overcomes the fear, that's when you're in a good place.
Amazing. I love that.
And you touched on the 3 things that you get from the community around you, which I think if a lot of people are trying it out on their own, just don't get.
Absolutely.
Which is the mentoring, which is super valuable, the community around you, and then all the back testing work that we're recording as well.
Very
so it's
valuable.
like 3 layers of support that you've got behind you as your sort of armour. All the metaphors today.
All the metaphors, yeah.
But yeah, that really helps cushion you when you're trying to do this.
Absolutely. And I think I probably should mention it more. The reason for the back testing is partly to build that confidence. Because look, I'm going to say it boldly, it's better you make a mistake during the back testing and then have one of the mentors and coaches guide you, you know, analyze it with you for you to then realize again what you did wrong or what mistake you made, to then improve it, so that by the time you finish the back test and you then say, hey, I am a confident trader, I know what I'm doing, I'm ready to go live.
Yeah, and so like you said, that's how you know your skill set is up at this
100%,
level,
absolutely.
which means you can quieten down that voice a little
Absolutely.
bit. I think one thing which would be really helpful for people listening is what is kind of like for you the number one mindset pitfall that people fall into that actually stops or slows down their progress.
Without a doubt, it's seeing other people succeeding and feeling like they can't do it themselves.
I knew you were going to do this. I literally said to Sophie before we started recording, I was like, I'm going to answer this question as well, and this is what I'm going to say. And if he takes it, I'm going to be so annoyed. And you've literally taken the words right out of my mouth. But it's because I agree. I think that is the number one way that people rob themselves of A, the joy of the experience, and B, the ability to keep moving forward
100%.
because they compare. And that is the worst thing you can possibly do.
Absolutely.
Because we're all on a different journey. We do all learn at different paces, and that's why the mentorships are capped to small groups, because if someone learns in one way and somebody else learns in another way, we need to still be able to look after both of them.
100%, yeah.
Because if you're in a group of 10, you're never going to be able to do that.
Lost, yeah,
which is why we cap it to 4. So I think a brilliant answer, perfect answer. I couldn't have said it better myself. There we go.
So the most common pitfall is comparison, right?
For sure.
So how does someone get over that?
So for me, I think, again, it's a mindset thing. It's like that saying of, is the glass of water half full or half empty? The quantity is still the same. So to look up to a mentor or another trader in the group who's doing well is a good thing, as long as you're taking inspiration from it as a learning point. Yeah. If you're comparing in the half empty way, then of course it's detrimental, because now it's they are better than me, they've mastered it, I can't do it, it's just not for me, I'm never going to get this, and that's where the story then kicks in. Does that make sense?
Do you think it's like when you compare yourself in a bad way, you're kind of putting someone on a pedestal?
For sure.
And when you use someone as an inspiration, you see them as ahead of you on the journey.
Absolutely.
So they're same level, they're just ahead. Whereas when you're doing that in a bad way, half empty way, I've never heard it explained that way, I really like it, you're looking up. Yeah. You're at the bottom of the glass.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas rather than being level on the glass, I'm definitely mixing metaphors.
I love it.
But I think that's I've never thought of it that way either, but I think that's a really helpful way to think about it. Right, they're further along in the journey. Yeah. Okay, they might have run faster than me and started later than me but gotten further ahead. Brilliant, fantastic, that's great. We're still on the same level, for sure. Rather than looking up, which means you're not looking at your own feet and you start to trip over. I don't know why I'm adding to this metaphor. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, I think I'll help you here, Lewis.
Thank you.
I think the course does that really well, because you start in these 2-hour-long mentorship calls, the first 2 or 3 calls, and you're with complete beginners like you, and then you kind of join the group coaching and you can pick out of like 15 different calls a week. And I find them really interesting because you're getting instant feedback from an expert.
Absolutely.
And then the other 3 people on the call, they might be on different strategies, so that's quite interesting. They might be on the same strategy but they've done like 30 more tests than you, and it's really interesting to see what they're doing, learn from them, that it's in a small group. But you see that everyone is doing different things, different strategies, different times, and you can see people are progressing because you're all in the community, and people really celebrate each other, don't they?
Yeah.
If someone has a win or if someone moves on to the next strategy, we all celebrate it. So you can kind of see that in action, so that if you're at one stage, you can see someone get into the next and then the next, and you're kind of behind them. So it is an evolving thing, and you can see that happening in front of you.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. And people always say, you know, if you want to be successful at something, surround yourself with
100%.
people doing it, and they can help inspire you. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, amazing, fantastic. I think it's time for our secret snack.
Do you?
All right.
I do indeed.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll go first.
Okay,
Shall I
you
go
go
first?
first. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm going to cover my eyes. I like the surprise. Oh, good. I'm hearing rustling again.
You're going to be so pleased this week, Lewis.
Is it crisps?
You can look.
Yes, it's crisps. I'm very happy. Look at you going all out with M&S. Have you just moved house and the M&S is closest? Okay, cool. Pepperoni pizza. Do love a pepperoni pizza. Ridge cut crisps from M&S. I'm not going to lie. If you have to pick a crisp, a ridge cut.
Okay,
it's like top tier. Yeah. I won't eat them like I eat them at home, because I literally will crack off each ridge to really savour the flavour.
Really?
Yeah, it's a mindful trick for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a form of meditation, I tell myself.
Wow.
So,
you're a bit crisp obsessed though, aren't you?
I do love crisps.
Yeah.
I may have a crisp advent calendar.
That's okay.
Oh, these are quite big, you know. I'm not going to go for a huge one. Oh, it's a long, thin, crackly one. So, smell, good. Fresh bouquet. I would say less pepperoni, more like Spanish ham.
I think you're so excited you've forgotten to share.
No, I'm just not sharing. These are mine. let me
share with our guest.
That's true. I should go guess first, shouldn't I? Sorry, Rymel.
That's all right. I'm excited to try this, to be fair.
Are you getting pizza?
I'm definitely getting ham.
Definitely getting ham. I'm not sure I'm getting pizza. I'm kind of getting Italian, New York pizza deli. Like, been sat on the shelf for about 3 hours.
I'm getting like passata. Oh, I am getting pepperoni actually. They're quite dry.
They are quite dry. But yeah, I'm a fan of them. Surprise out of 10? 5. I was expecting some crisps at some point. Flavour, probably a 7.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would eat the whole bag watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Good job.
Nice.
Right, I'm going to go for your one now.
Okay.
I'm going to go for this one. Now, the good news is I brought 2 of these so we can share.
Okay.
Soph, you may turn around.
We were talking about this on a different episode.
We were, yes. Which may or may not be in the future.
It's Biscoff and Go, biscuit spread and breadsticks.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the look of these so much I had to buy 2 just so
That's
I could
a good
definitely take them home
surprise.
myself.
Okay, let's crack them open at the same time then.
That's good.
What's cracking? Right,
Biscuit spread and breadsticks. This is very exciting.
very exciting.
I mean, Biscoff has had its day, hasn't it? Like, it's
having
everywhere.
its day.
It's having its day.
It's in right now.
I mean, look at that.
That's good.
They're little mini breadsticks and a little dip.
Yeah.
Should we have a dip?
It's like a Dairy Lee dip thing, isn't it?
It's
That's
a
what it
thick
reminds me of, to be
dip.
fair.
Yeah. It's very thick, isn't it? Smells like Biscoffy.
I like that a lot. This
Nice.
was very good. Surprise 10. Taste. I think it might get a 10.
Oh,
wow.
yes.
Do you agree?
That may be the best night we've had then.
I think it might be. Well done.
Ta-da.
Well done.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of the STARTrading Podcast. We look forward to seeing you at the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.